Hello, it's me, the kid making YouTube videos about robots during quarantine because they suck at building robots and they want to get better, and they have nothing else to do during quarantine. Alright guys, this is the moment that no one has been anticipating or has asked for. That's right, it's the fourth and final episode of the Robotic ARM Project. In the last episode, we had the base here as well as all the rotation plates that help it rotate along that axis. And then after we did that, we added this whole wrist system up here that we're going to attach the claw to later. Since then, I've done a couple little small things because I knew this was going to be the last episode, and there were a couple things that I just wanted to get out of the way before I started. Since that last episode, I've done a couple small things and altered slightly just because I knew this was going to be the last episode, and there were a couple minor things I wanted to go back and change before I finalized it all. On a lot of these pieces, I just went back through, reprinted them, made them look a little nicer, smaller layer height, more accurate, added nicer screw tabs on all of these pieces right here, just so they fit together better and just work more properly. But this is the main change. This is the main of the minor changes I made, is I went ahead and threw away the wooden rotation plate and changed it back to being 3D printed. I originally was trying to do it out of wood because I thought it was going to be impractical to 3D print it, but the wood wore down over time and it was just more accurate to print it. Plus, I could add minor adjustments more accurately and easier than I could with the wood. Well, now that that's out of the way, the two things I wanted to get done in this episode were adding digital sensors to some of the stop points right here, just so it has a little bit of sensing at where it's at, and then also add a claw at the end here. And then after that, I think it's pretty much good. Okay, so now I'm just printing a little platform that you screw on top of that claw servo. So now we can either have a stationary or finger right here, and then add the driven finger right here. I've made a lot of robot claws for competitions in the past, and some have been decently complex, so a part of myself is cringing at how simple this is, but I'll stick with it until I have a task for the robot. So then we just take the crappy little claw bracket that we made, slap it on top just like that, put this on there, and boom, ye olde crappy budget robot claw. I really seriously doubt this claw will be able to do anything at all. But it's a good concept in case we come back later in life, think about all our past mistakes and realize, you know what, we can do something better. But as of now, I don't care. Now, I fully expect adding the digital sensors to be much harder because I have no foresight whatsoever and didn't add any spots to put digital sensors. So it's just kind of like a flat surface. There's no place to screw anything in or anything like that. But when in doubt, add super glue, right? Think? Now, I have noticed that I've been saying digital sensor more than like tactile switch or button or anything like that. That's just force of habit because there's only one type of a digital sensor in a robotics tournament that I compete in, so we just call it digital sensor instead of button. But I should be saying tactile switch or button or something like that. Alright, well since I don't have any buttons laying around just like a kid or something, you know what it's time for? It's time for a sacrifice. Alright, so I'm gonna be honest, this is the first time I'd really tried to desolder anything properly. I mean, before this I just piddled around and seen if I could salvage anything, but I actually need these for a project where there's like size constraints. So I tried to do this decently well and actually had to learn how to do this. I started out just trying to like solder at the points and then scrape away some of the solder, but that didn't end up working, and then I realized, hey, I think I have a weird tool up in the attic that is for some reason used for soldering. I don't remember what it does, but let's just go see what it is. So I went up into the attic and looked, and it was a little almost plunger thing with a spring that was like a suction. And so after messing around with it for a little bit, I realized that if you melted solder and then press that up against it and let it suction it all out, you could get a solder away from your joint, and that would leave it free to remove. Okay, so this little tiny piece right here is what I added to hold the button. It's just, this will be screwed in through this hole and then super glue also into the robot. And then the digital sensor will fit in this little tiny slot right here, and the wires will come out in the bottom through these two slots right here. I've gone ahead and added the button to this one, so the button just fits in the top just like that. This is what's going to screw into the robot on the side. I'm going to have to drill a hole in the plastic or something like that. And all the cords just come out through the bottom. Now I can then connect it wherever I need. Just like that. Alright, now that the digital sensors are all put in and glued on, all we have to do is plug them straight into the... Oh crap, I forgot you have to program these things! Alright, let's do this quick. So the first thing we gotta do is print out a bracket so that the Arduino can fit on the side of the rotation platform. After that, we gotta grab our breakout board for the servos and slap that on there as well. Once we've plugged everything in and everything's ready to go, we hook up the Arduino to a computer, bang our keyboard really, really hard, have a mental breakdown, bang our keyboard even harder, have an even worse mental breakdown. Oh, don't forget, also delay the video by 3 days because of your mental breakdowns and you need a break. Wow guys, would you look at that, it's moving. Now, don't ask to see the code because it's bad and I would at least like a chance at a programming job someday. So we're just gonna cut before this thing like explodes or something. Alright guys, well there it is, finished. That's the Robotic ARM project. That's how the episode's going to make about the robotic arm. I might go in and add some things later, just tighten a couple things up if I feel like it later on. It doesn't really work well, but I had fun with it and I learned, and that's what really matters. One of the things I learned, and that's one of the problems that made this robot not really good in the end, was that it doesn't have a defined purpose. Like I just kind of said, ooh, make a robot arm. I didn't really have a reason for making a robot arm. Like I didn't have a goal for the robot arm. Like pick up a pencil or pick up a paper towel or do something, like some motor function. I just said make a robot arm, make it move. And it does that, so I mean, I guess I set the bar super low, so I got there. But if the bar's that low, you're not gonna have an output that you like. And since this robot didn't have an end goal, I mean, I hate to say it, but it really just turned out kind of subpar.
Did you say about me?
So let me get this straight. You, an inanimate object, gained sentience because when God was programming the world, he didn't account for someone building a robot this bad, and so you accidentally gained a soul.
Exactly. The operating system couldn't recognize my parameters because of how badly I am built and listed me as an alien species that wasn't supposed to be added to the simulation until the end of 2020. Just letting you know this year keeps getting worse and worse.
Ah, so 2020 just keeps getting worse. Honestly, that was to be expected. Wait, you said operating system? What operating system does the universe run on?
Windows 95 obviously. There a problem?
No. So I guess if you're gonna be around now, I have to call you something, right? Like, do you have a name?
Jonathan. I am an inanimate object that accidentally gained sentience because you suck at building robots. Why on earth would I already have a name?
Yeah, I guess you're right. Well, I mean, I gotta call you something.
How about Bernie?
Wait, no, that's too boring. Oh, I have an idea. Wait, I got it. Since you were like a corner case, right, in like a simulation, why don't we call you Corny?
Please no.
No, yeah, it'll be funny. Come on, man.
Couldn't you have at least built me good enough so that I could unplug myself?
No, you don't want to do that. You have so much to live for.
No, I really don't. I was accidentally brought into existence with no purpose by an incompetent builder. All I can do is sit here and wallow in my worthlessness. Cursed to live for the rest of eternity knowing that I am a mistake. What a cruel world.
Dang, bro. Oh, okay. Alright, well this is the final episode of my Robotic ARM project. I hope you at least liked a couple of my corny jokes that I added.
Am I a joke to you?
What? No, you're not a joke. You're an accident.
I hate you so much.
If you just hated my corny jokes, please let me know. The best way I learn is through self-deprecation and verbal abuse. So if you were to tell me I suck, that just motivates me more to get better. So I actually appreciate it if you'd roast me in the comments as much as physically possible. I might cry for a day, but that's perfectly fine because I'll come back better than ever. If you thought the corny jokes were too corny and cringy, let me know. I'll go back to the more informational approach. Well, I don't have that much information to give in the first place, but I won't add jokes and I'll just keep it strictly informational and just about the building process. Personally, I know I have more fun making the corny jokes. It was just kind of something interesting to do. Dude, honestly, any joke flies with me at this point. Quarantine's so boring. Please help me. Well, so this project's done. Here's a list of all the projects that I want to do next. So, just also, with your verbal abuse, leave a comment about which one of these I should do next, so you can give me more verbal abuse, right? Literally no one watches my videos, so if anyone comments about what the project is going to be next, it's probably going to be that, because I highly doubt more than 2 people are going to say what they want to be next. Anyways, I hope you at least halfway enjoyed it, just filled the void of quarantine for 15 minutes. Well, anyways, hope you stick around for next project. See you then.